All right, let's get right into it. We all know Michael Jackson, right? But this is about more than just a famous pop star. We're talking about the architect, the guy who literally created the blueprint for what it means to be a global superstar today. Seriously, think about anyone from Beyoncé to Bruno Mars. The DNA of their success, you can trace it right back to a formula he perfected. So that really is the million-dollar question, isn't it? How does one person get so big, so influential, that they completely reshape an entire industry? Because this isn't just about having a few hit songs. No, this is about changing the rules of the game. And what's absolutely wild is where this whole thing kicked off.
It all started with a single spark, just one performance on TV that was like a cultural big bang. It set off this chain reaction that, honestly, we're still feeling the effects of today. And the craziest part, the whole revolution was ignited in just 2 minutes. That's it.
Okay, so picture this. It's May 1983. The show is the Motown 25 special. Michael Jackson walks out on stage to perform Billie Jean. And then, for the very first time on national TV, he does the thing. He just glides backward, like he's defying the laws of physics. He unleashes the moonwalk, and in that one moment, boom, the entire world of music just shifted on its axis.
And you can bet the first shockwave from that performance was just this massive, overwhelming demand from the public. Everyone wanted to see more. And that wave of demand came crashing right up against the industry's powerful new gatekeeper, this brand new cable channel called MTV. And you really have to understand what was going on at the time. Back in the early 80s, MTV basically had a rule. They played white rock artists, period. It didn't matter how popular you were, if you were a black artist, you were systematically shut out. This quote here really says it all. It wasn't some kind of accident. It was their policy. And this is the moment that wall came tumbling down. After a ton of pressure from his record label, Billie Jean finally broke through. And listen, this wasn't just some personal win for Michael Jackson. This was a massive watershed moment that blew the doors wide open for every single black artist who came after him. And you know what they say, follow the money. The impact was instant, and it was huge. Check this out. MTV went from losing $50 million to turning its first ever profit, all because they finally put his videos on. So he didn't just break a cultural barrier, he proved that black music wasn't some niche thing, it was a commercial juggernaut, plain and simple. So with that MTV barrier just absolutely shattered, the stage was set for an explosion. I mean, an explosion like nothing the world had ever seen before. The Thriller album went from just being a hit to becoming a full-blown global phenomenon that would completely rewrite the rulebook for the entire music industry. I mean, just listen to these numbers. They're insane. The best-selling album of all time, period. A record 8 Grammys in one night. 7 top 10 singles from a single album, and it stayed at #1 for 37 consecutive weeks. Thriller didn't just break records, it launched them into a whole new stratosphere. And then there's the big one. The final number is almost impossible to wrap your head around. Over 70 million copies sold worldwide. I mean, just let that sink in. A number that massive didn't just make him the biggest star on the planet, it completely reshaped the entire global music market, forever. So the question is, how did he actually do it? Well, it wasn't just one thing. He created this repeatable formula. He fused together all these different art forms, music, dance, fashion, into one iconic package. And that became the blueprint. Just take the moonwalk, for example. Now, he didn't invent it, right? It actually came from street dancers out on the West Coast. But his genius, his real magic, was his ability to see something, absorb it, and perfect it. He took this underground move, polished it with his insane precision, and then beamed it out to the entire world. He turned street culture into global culture, like overnight. And this right here, this is the core of that formula. First, his music videos. They weren't just ads for the song, they were cinematic short films. I mean, Thriller is a perfect example. Second, the dancing. It wasn't just some background fluff, it was the main event, front and center. Third, his fashion. The single sequin glove, the military jackets, that was performance art. And finally, the music itself. He just blew up genre lines. Who else puts Eddie Van Halen's epic rock solo on an R&B track like Beat It? So you take all of those pieces, you put them together, and what do you get? A global footprint that was just, well, unprecedented. He wasn't just a star in America, he was a global phenomenon. And the wild thing is, his influence is still growing, even today.
I mean, this is what total global dominance actually looks like. He'd sell out massive stadiums, breaking records everywhere he went. He was the first artist ever to sell over 100 million albums outside of the US. And because his videos were so cinematic, they transcended language. It didn't matter where you were in the world, you could connect with his art. That's what really solidified his title as the King of Pop.
And hey, if you think for a second that his relevance has faded, you've got to see this. In just 2 years, his streams jumped by almost 40%. This isn't just old fans feeling nostalgic. No, this is a whole new generation discovering his music in the streaming era. It just goes to show you how timeless his work really is.
Now, this next stat is just mind-blowing. He is the only artist in history, the only one, to have 5 different solo albums each sell over 20 million copies. Think about that. This proves that Thriller wasn't some one-off, lightning-in-a-bottle moment. This was sustained, consistent genius at a level nobody else has ever touched.
So that brings us right back to where we started. Michael Jackson created the very idea of the modern global superstar, that one single person who could unite the entire planet through their art. And that leaves us with a really big question for today. In our super fragmented world, with a million different streaming services and social media feeds, is it even possible for anyone to follow that blueprint again? Could one artist ever have that kind of unifying global impact ever again?